Okay, so this is a bit of an older track, but it was a fun one, so I thought I wanted to do a breakdown video of it. It's a cyberpunk synthwave track. It has a little bit of like that genre acid, so like cyberpunk acid track, as you'll hear from like the main acid bass. But yeah, I'll just play it from the beginning, then I'll break down all the different sounds and all the different things in it. Yeah, very energetic and fun. I was like thinking almost like a fight scene, like a John Wick fight scene, or very like sci-fi heavy, cyberpunk heavy fight scene. But yeah, let me get into the sounds. I'm gonna start with the basses because the track is like basically built off of this one bass. The cool thing about this bass, so this is from the ES2. It's one of the stock plugins of Logic Pro. There was a few sample packs I got a while back that was very good for like progressive house and like techno and like those type of genres. The Dave Parkinson, but with one of those, I forgot which one, they also came with presets for this plugin, the ES2. So I was just like testing them out. The sound from his preset pack that I started with was Acid 3, and then I just built from there. The cool thing about this one is it utilizes velocity. You can see these are the lower ones and it goes a little bit higher, and it almost changes like the note of it. I'll play it again and you'll hear that. The red ones are like the higher notes while like the yellow ones are like the lower notes. And then I think this part, I used different octaves and made it sound even crazier. So there's that one. There's a sub with it. Them together. Whenever you have like a very dynamic like bass, but it sounds too thin, adding this up can always help. And then I added this other bass right here. This is just a simple like saw wave type of sound, and I put the distortion quite high, all three of them together. And then this other bass comes in. It's another ES2 from the same pack. I put a volume shaper, makes it stutter, all of them together. Yeah, and then later on, these basses are added. It sounds very phasery, and then also this sub bass down here. Also in this section though, a lot of automation happens, which is why they sound a little bit stronger. Once the second drop happens, I'll go over all of the effects real quick. First, there's a vinyl that's bypassed through most of the song, but then at different sections, it gets unbypassed. I think the same thing happens with the Siplon. The OTT and the Focus 1, as you can see, they're set to 0, but then once you get to over here, the OTT goes to 79% depth. The Focus 1, I add more drive, width, and focus, which focus is basically like almost like an OTT sound, adding more power to like the mids and the mid highs. But yeah, so that's why they sound a little bit different. You'll hear the difference right here. And then with the bass over here, overall, they just sound a lot more grittier and like a lot more mid highs. And also this other bass sounds very like phasery and just adds more of that high end just to make them very present. Let's go to the leads now. So for the first ones over here, we have these ones. And those are just 2 layers. There's this one, which is basically a lead from Rouse's Serum pack, which there's just a ton of good sounds here, both for electronic music and also even like cinematic music. I put on a Supermassive. This is basically like a, it has like reverb and delay in it. It's a free plugin. It's just very, very experimental. It has a lot of like interesting effects that can get very intense. And then I have a Haas vibration, spelled H-A-A-S, which basically all that does is like, as you can see here, here's a multiband, and it takes the mid frequencies, and just kind of makes them go left to right super fast, while the highs and the lows are kind of still in the middle. Just the mids are moving. Here, I'll turn it off. And then I turn it on. It just makes the sound less stable. And then this sound, which that one is basically just a higher octave layer, so they can layer well together and just have more presence. I made sure both of those sounds have the same portamento number. When 2 notes overlap, it will slide to the next note, and the portamento number is the amount of time it takes to slide, so that they're able to slide together. Because later on, they kind of have a different melody and kind of just go off on their own. And with that, it sounds a ton cleaner when they slide together in perfect unison. And then let me do these chords real quick. These ones are also a sound from the ES2, just another pad from that preset pack. And then I have Supermassive on it, and then just a low cut. And those are also in the same bus as the leads. They're just kind of filling the rest of the space that the basses are not. Then there's these leads. So this was the main lead for this next section over here, which I'll play the section again. There's just a little bit of pan left and right. And I kind of did this because in this section, the basses were really like heavy. So I just wanted this to like be a lead, but also like kind of like spacious and not like too present, just kind of on the side. Then I put a RC48, which is just a reverb, and then another Supermassive just so it can sound big. And then I put Soothe because there was a lot of annoying frequencies in the high end. So I just wanted to take care of those. I layered a vintage guitar. I put a guitar rig on it just to make it sound like a real guitar, a Soothe, just to take out any annoying frequencies, Focus 1 for some drive, and then over here, these 2 leads join them. So like all together. Once again, very similar processing on them. On the leads, I also just had a DST, giving it a little distortion, and then this high cut on them. I didn't want them to have too much presence, and then another soothe just to clean up the whole lead stack. Then let's go down here. This pad kind of filled the space. Yeah, it filled the space very well with this part of the drop. Then this one, which is one of my favorite like tension driving pads. I put on the pitch map, but like I'm not doing too much with this one. It's just giving a little bit of color to it. I'm making it pan left and right, and then just super massive. This definitely gives energy when it comes in. And I think that's all the melodic stuff. Is this melodic? Yeah, it's also melodic. I kind of just threw that in there once again to just fill in space. Now let's go to the drums. It has just a classic kick on every one, snare on 2 and 4. And then trippy hi-hat. You can hear it going left and right. Just crashes. And you can hear they have sidechain on them. Then open hats with the kick and snare and the other hi-hats. I also added this drum loop. Very techno. And then on the heavier drop, I added another snare. I think I added like 2 more snares, yeah. Then there's acoustic hi-hats. There's honestly a lot of just random stuff in here. These crashes. And then a ride loop with them. Just a ton of different sounds going on. Then with those, all of the effects. And then this stuff. That might be all of the sounds. Oh, I forgot the fills. For a lot of the fills, I use this right here, which I just have the volume kind of raised as it goes up, so it has presence when it happens. Just so that you can actually hear it. And then over here, you can hear a few things. There's a riser, there is this thing, another, I guess, kind of riser, and then this thing. Yeah, which is a few different transitions from an oversampled pack. Layer it all together, kind of sound pretty cool. On the second drop, it was only these two, but I made them stronger. They have their own little moment. But yeah, I think that's about it. A decent amount of layering, but not too much, honestly. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.